On the line from the quaint colonial town of Glastonbury, Connecticut, it's Ron. Hi, Ron.
Hello, guys. Thanks for taking my question.
Are you a quaint colonial?
No, I'm actually, I used to live in the East Bay, and I moved
nice.
over, so, yeah, now I'm going to bear the nice cold weather here.
Yeah, I bet. I see you have an old-fashioned clock and an old-fashioned chair on your T-shirt. What is that T-shirt?
It's,
Ultimate Frisbee.
Nothing but change.
Are you an ultimate frisbeer?
It's not ultimate Frisbee, it's disc golf.
Disc golf. Disc golf. Disc golf.
We got
I used to play there in Santa Clara and Berkeley and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen those around. I didn't know what that was for. I thought it was some sort of medieval torture implement.
Well, it can be, I suppose.
It is in a way, isn't it?
I feel horrible. I don't mean to waste your time. I was watching last week's episode. The gentleman who called for help says, technology is dead. There's no.
Yeah. So let's just give it up, right? Let's just stop right now.
Let's give it up. Oh,
it's not dead yet. Actually, you're asking a question that is right in the sweet spot of where technology is headed, I think. Go ahead and ask your question.
So my question is, there are three pretty solid platforms out there for tablets. I'm interested in a tablet, so you got Android, iOS, and Windows.
Yep.
And the things I require is stylus and specifically ink to text. So when you handwrite something, then you can just select it and convert it into text.
Right.
And I found out mobile may lack in that. I'm just finding a good application. I use it for work as a project manager. Take a lot of notes.
You know that that Note 7 is really the Galaxy Note 7 from Samsung. It's very affordable right now. That might be an excellent choice. No, I'm just joking. He's laughing. That's the exploding phone. Although I have heard, I don't know if this is true, that Samsung is going to refurb those, take out the bad batteries, put in new batteries, and try to sell them. And if they do, you'll get it for a very, very low price because nobody's going to be crazy enough to buy that. But that's a phablet, not a tablet. Did you ever use a Note with the stylus? Because those really actually work pretty well. What are you using it for? Are you annotating drawings or documents or?
It's taking minutes. So as a product PM, a lot of details of projects change. Got it. Change his pink shirt to blue. I got to take note who said what when that's going to happen and so on.
Well, we have actually the three main players in this here. Jason will demonstrate Android, which I think is going to get disqualified instantly.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Megan Maroney. She's going to do the iOS portion of this here, and I have the Windows tablet. So your chief criterion is you want to be able to take notes on a screen, have those notes converted to text so that you can, Jason, what do you got for him?
Well, you mentioned Pixel C, and I hate to tell you, but Pixel C, which I have right here, it doesn't have any sort of real true stylus support. It's also a year old, so you might want to, kind of be forewarned on that. I mean, honestly, if you were thinking of Android and you were thinking of anything stylus, I would have to say that you would want to look at the Note series in some way, shape, or form. Samsung does have a 10.1 edition of the Note, but it's a 2014 tablet, so it's already outdated, but it has stylus support.
That's the one I would look at. Is there an app on Android that will take handwritten text and convert it? I don't know of one that will.
I don't know of one, and and I'm sorry I don't have a recommendation on that. But even if there is, I mean, there's a little bit of handwritten support in like keyboards, let's say, just handwriting recognition. I don't know if it's going to be as robust though as what you're talking about. If you're taking minutes, you want space, you want to just scribble it out. You don't want to write letter by letter and wait for it to space over to the next letter, which is what some of the keyboard options do. So I'm just thinking that maybe Android might not be the right platform for this.
Now it's too bad because I know from our research that you are a Chromebook user and you have a Nexus phone, so you're in the Google world. Comfortable.
Correct. I'm back in the day, people used to be hardcore Windows fans and brag about that, and people were let's know I'm an Apple user, a Mac user, and Linux and. I've worked in tech support at the University of Connecticut, UConn. Go Huskies.
UConn Huskies,
yeah. And there, as my eyes opened up, like that university doesn't support just one platform like Apple. They're popular in a lot of universities. The university supports anything. So it doesn't matter. Bring your own device.
I think a school has to do that now. I think modern schools do that. Yeah.
So my now I'm open to anything, any platform. That's why
Good.
I'm asking. You know, it's not
Good.
specifically Android, iOS, or Windows. It's just the core services I use in personal life are Google services. So if it's as long as Gmail works on Google Calendar, you know, Chrome, those are the services I prefer to use.
Well,
so
the good news is you can use Google Drive on any of the platforms we're about to show you. So let's get iOS here. Megan Maroney from iOS Today has brought along an iPad.
So this is the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil, which this is a little more expensive, and the Apple Pencil doesn't come with it. But I'm using an app called Nebo.
N-E-B-O.
From MyScript.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this letter to Leo with the pencil, and I have really bad handwriting, but then it just turns it into text.
You just tap it, and it, boom, it textifies it.
And then you can send it, like you can share it.
It does a really good job too. The MyScript folks started with a calculator that took mathematic formulas and converted them. So, what'd you just do there?
I just crossed out, and it will, you know, cross out the text.
Scratch it more. Yeah, like that. Boom.
And then you can like go back. You know,
I see.
So and then the text. You can see the text is written up there. So yeah, it's a really good for taking notes. I mean, we talk about the pencil being great for artists, but I think if you're constantly taking notes, this is good. And OneNote you can get on the iPad too. I know you said that you use OneNote, and that works with the Apple Pencil. So you can, you know, if you don't want to use an app like this, you can also use OneNote. And I use Google. We're in the Google ecosystem. I use Google Docs on here. It's not the best experience, Google Docs, but it definitely works.
The third choice, as you know, is Windows. This is and by the way, good deals right now. Black Friday deals from Microsoft. This is the Surface Pro 4, and you see it has a detachable keyboard, which has a certain advantage to it. This is Alex's, so I'm going to take my Surface Book, which is the same thing. It has a hard keyboard on it, but you can eject the screen just like that. And now this is exactly the same tablet. It's looking for me, so let me hold myself in front of it. I love that, by the way. That is a nice feature. That's the Windows Hello feature. And it comes with a stylus. It's got some nice features. For instance, you can program the click button, which is an eraser or a click button, to do an action. For instance, you can have it double click it and it opens OneNote. I'm going to switch into tablet mode here real quickly. I'm going to double click it, and it will open up, it's supposed to open up the, I guess I don't have it programmed on this yet, but it will open up the ink workspace, and you see it has an ink workspace. You can draw on it, you could take notes in it. Conversion to text, that's an interesting question. Alex, have you done that, conversion to text?
I have not. I found that OneNote on the Windows Surface, because it's running the full OneNote,
it's
running on the
OneNote.
full
That's
version.
Right. Yeah.
It will do ink to text.
Okay.
But the mobile platforms do not, including the Windows app. So iOS and Android has OneNote, but it won't do the ink to text feature.
I have to say, for what you just described, the fact that you can still have a keyboard, because sometimes it's faster to take notes with a keyboard. You can turn this sideways, or you know, portrait mode. That comes with the pen. The pen attaches very nicely to the side. It has an eraser, and this is almost a OneNote machine. You can program Windows. As I said, I don't know why it wasn't doing it, but I can double click it's probably decharge. I could double click this. It will open up OneNote, get me right into it. It's almost like Microsoft made this for desktop OneNote. So I would say of the three, this is going to be the easiest to fit into your workflow. It's exactly designed to do exactly what you just described.
And the Nebo app works on Windows. There's a Windows app, so you can get that. So the app that I use on iOS, you can download on the Windows Store.
You know, you're going to have more choices, I think. Apple really sees this, I think, more as more of a creative thing than a business class product. Android has really suffered on the tablet side from lack of applications, and it's a shame because
I mean, I'm at the point where I rarely recommend a tablet specifically, and I just recommend getting a nice Chromebook with touchscreen, and then you've got the best of both worlds.
And given that you can get a Surface Pro 4 in Microsoft's Black Friday sale for $799, that's 128 gigs storage, an i5 with 4 gigs of RAM, which is pretty much the sweet spot on that. That is very attractive. You'll still have to pay an extra $100 or so for the type cover if you wanted to get the keyboard on this thing, which I would recommend because there are times it's just really nice to have a keyboard and mouse. But it's interesting. Microsoft has really created the best of both worlds, a tablet that is in fact a laptop computer. $899 is the list, but as I said, watch for the Black Friday deal, which should be coming out. By now, by the time we air this, it should be out. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, it's tricky because they kind of have, well, it sounds like Android is out.
Yeah.
Not too many pluses on there, but the pros and cons is that, sorry, Tom. I used to have the Asus Transformer Prime back in the day. It was nice to have the keyboard and the touch at the same time.
Exactly.
The negative on the Windows doesn't have the Google apps, right? You got to sort of launch the web browser for each of the services, right? Like,
no, there's an extension you can download and install, and what you can do is you can have it syncs just like Dropbox does, so you can have a Google Drive folder with all your Google Docs locally on the device. You double-click them to open them, just like you were opening a Word document, and you could work in there. It won't do the text to ink to text thing as like OneNote will do. I mean, honestly, if you're going to use a Windows device, you know, OneDrive probably makes more sense than Google Drive, but it will support it. And with the Google Drive extension, it automatically syncs to your desktop just like Dropbox does. So all those documents are there. I have to say, I think Windows is the closest to what you want to do here.
All right, what's the name of the iPad app you were using, Megan?
Nebo.
Yeah.
N-E-B-O.
Nebo.
And it's free.
Yeah.
So
that might be it. If you were going to do other
two,
things and you wanted an iPad because you were going to do other things with it, then that actually would get pretty close too. You have to use the Pencil and you have to get a Pro. That's very important. It needs an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil.
Okay, no, appreciate your help on this. So, I mean, it's narrowed down strongly to the iPad and Windows.
So I don't know if you. It sounds like you don't want to go with that.
You can't get this one in pink.
The book is too expensive. The Surface Book is a beautiful machine, too pricey for.
It's way
for
overpriced.
There's note taking essentially. Like so, my primary driver is a Chromebook and a Nexus. I don't need.
Look at the Lenovo Yoga then, which is a less expensive, same basic idea, and the Yoga will fold over so that you can, you know, I mean, there's a lot, this category is called 2-in-1s. There are a lot of them. It's not just Microsoft that makes them, and you can get a better deal with something that's pretty much the same from somebody like Lenovo. Okay.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's great to talk to you, Ron. Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you, Megan, for coming in on your busy day off.
You're welcome.
I know you're driving the kids around. Actually, this is probably a great respite, isn't it?
It is. It really is. Thank you.
Thank you.